Hello everybody, my name is Javin. This is my new line of videos that I'll be covering games played in Jamaica because we're not seeing these great games that are being played in Jamaica. So this is an opportunity for me to show you these games, analyze them, dissect them, and you can enjoy. So the first game we're going to look at is a game between Jared Lewis. He has an 1845 FIDE rating, and the very experienced player Micheal Diedrick. He has a rating of 1891. So let's get busy. Jared Lewis is playing white and he started with e4. You know, that's the king's pawn opening. And Diedrick replied c5. So I have the understanding that Jamaican players will like the Sicilian defense, right? If you go through 50 games, 40 of them would be Sicilian defense. And Sicilian is a very good opening. We have knight f3, d6, g3. So this is already a surprise because in the Sicilian, instead of g3, we normally have the move d4. That's the open Sicilian. And other than d4, we have moves like bishop check, and this g3 moves. I'm not a big player of the Sicilian. I'm not an e4 player myself, but this g3 move doesn't look like one of the more popular moves, and in fact g3 begins to weaken more of white's light squares. So black continued standard by playing knight c6, bishop g2, because I wanted to fianchet to his bishop, knight f6, attacking the pawn, and we just defend the pawn, e6, and castle, bishop e7, bishop f4, castle. Then we have knight bd2, e5. Okay, so with the move e5, obviously we are attacking the white's bishop, but also we are weakening the d5 square, which a lot of the time in these type of Sicilian, the d5 square becomes a big opportunity, a big target for the white pieces, especially a white knight could probably in the future make a home on the d5 square. White move this bishop, h6, attacking the bishop. White played the knight to c4. Alright, okay, so you know, with the knight on c4, black can't really play d5 because then the e5 pawn will be hanging. Bishop e6, and then white play knight fd2 to ensure that his pawn structure is not destroyed, quote unquote. I think that, you know, white never have to play this knight protecting knight move, because like let's say that white play a move like rook e1, for example. If black comes down and take the knight, then we can just take back with the pawn, and now this d6 pawn becomes a real weakness, right? And not only is the d6 pawn a real weakness, black would have given away his best bishop, and would be left with this bad bishop. And this knight can't come here to disrupt the action on the d file, because the d4 square is not a weak square. We can kick away the knight with c3. So I think white would have if not a winning advantage, he has a slight advantage right here. Alright, so instead he decided to defend his knight, right? And I can say that white is just it's white, I don't know. Black play rook there, and white played the move a4. The move a4 is intended to stop black from playing b5. And if you play a move like a4, it means that you are trying to create possibilities on the queen side. So it's shocking that you're trying to create possibilities on the queen side, and then after a couple moves you play the move queen to h5. Right, this move it just doesn't make sense, right? If you're playing on the queen side, then you're supposed to bring your army over on the queen side. You're not supposed to play a move like a4, weaken the a pawn, and then run away from it, right? You're supposed to play a4 and then follow it up with some more moves on the queen side. Instead, you play queen h5, intending a king side attack, right? And so when I see a move like queen h5, I just know right away that white doesn't have a plan, right? He's just, you know, going after the attack, and he doesn't have any real plan. Alright, so black saw that the knight wasn't doing much on a5, and he needs to bring back the knight, you know, in case white breaks through on the king side. And then f4 came because, you know, he brought his queen to h5, so naturally you need to play moves like f4 and takes. So you know, black is saying to white, you know, please sir, notice that I'm attacking your b2 pawn, and you know, he's also attacking the knight. So wow, takes back, and then black decide to pin the knight. Alright, which is not a bad move, and a move like this now kind of slows down the white you know, so-called attack. And okay, in this position, black cannot come down and just say that he wants to win a pawn, because then white has this resource f5, and if you take the rook, then we can take the bishop, attacking the queen, and after you recapture, then we can grab the two bishops for the rook. Right, a position like this though looks rather, you know, complicated, because even though white has the two bishops for the rook, he is still down a pawn, and he doesn't have a pawn shelter, and the black has the two rooks. When you have the rooks, you want open files for them, and you want to control open file with them. And you know, black is, you know, obviously controlling the F file, and you know, the F file is surrounding the white king. Meanwhile, black has these 2 pawn, the G7 and the H6 pawn protecting his king, and the queen, the black queen, the black rook, and the black knight isn't very far away from the black king, so they can protect the king, right? And you know, how is white going to improve his game, right? Like if you decide to trade off, bring a rook to the F, I will just trade it off, and then I'll bring this other rook to the F file. You know, probably in a position like this, white would have to fight for the end game, and black would have to fight for the middle game, try to checkmate the king before he reached to an end game. But anyhow, black didn't go in for that move. He decided to play bishop to d4, and that's a sensible choice. So white have to defend the pawn, and he's saying to black, please sir, notice that I'm ready to trap your bishop. And black said, I'm going to break up your pawns. All right, sir. So f5 and is a nice move, and then d4 came, and then black gave up the dark square bishop. All right, rook takes. So as you can see, that rook is ready to go over and at least try to attack that black king. Right now, I just see white trying, right? I'm not sure that white has any serious attack right here. So he decided to put his king to h7. It looks like a little improvement. And then white brought in the knight. White is a patzer, as we saw all this time. He just wanted to bring his knight to g5 because it's a check and it cannot be taken. So, you know, black brought back the king. So now that he can't bring the knight to g5, he puts the knight on h4. I'm not, you know, wow, white is really trying to make something out of this. So the knight came to defend that square, and then the rook went there, and white is just threatening to win that h6 pawn, and the black king keep shuffling captures. So all right, so white is really working hard to try and you know, get an attack, and you know, in the long run, when he captured this pawn, you notice that he weakened his pawn structure. He did give this bishop an outpost, but he weakened his pawn structure, and let's see if that's going to be good for him. The knight captured, and that's forking the rook and the knight. So all right, the knight doesn't want to, he don't want to trade off his knight, so check, king move, and then the rook move. So black has to move his rook, and if white is not careful, then the bishop is going to come here, and that's goodbye knight. So the knight moves. Right, so again, I don't think that white has a good plan, and I don't think that he has a good attack. So the bishop attacks the queen, queen pin the knight, bishop comes back, the queen goes back, and then Mr. Diedrick decides to capture that knight. Then rook capture, rook goes there, rook attack the bishop, the bishop move, check, king over. Right, so this position is a very intense position. The rook comes up, and then black decide to take that pawn. Queen drop back because he didn't only take a pawn, but he can come here with a come down here with some funny business. And alright, bishop drop back, attack the queen, and check, king up. He doesn't want to trade off the attack, and rook check, king up. Right, so in this position, white is actually losing because he didn't want to play king here. Probably king there is a checkmate. Let me see, queen check, king up. What other check? Oh well, that would lead to the same position. So here he just blundered. He just went in it right away. Check. That's Q as a bishop, and then we snatch that bishop, and we also threatening to come down back. The rook went there, snap off that rook, queen take, attack the queen, queen back, snatch another pawn, and then right here white resign.